learning outcomes. After studying this module, you will be able to number 1, know about probability and its basic concepts. Number 2, know about theorems of probability. 3, know about conditional probability. 4, understand Bayes' theorem and Poisson distribution. And 5, know about application of probability in forensic science. Introduction. The word probability is commonly used in our day-to-day life conversation, and we generally use this word even without going into details of its actual meaning. An experiment whose outcome cannot be predicted and is uncertain is known as a random experiment. Probability is the chances of occurrence of an event. Sample space is defined as the collection of all possible outcomes. Sample space of an experiment is denoted by capital S. Any subset of sample space is known as an event. Different capital letters except capital S are used to denote an event. A collection of outcomes or sets of outcomes from a sample space is known as events. For example, if a coin is twice and observations are recorded, then sample space of this experiment will be S equal to HH, TT, HT, TH, where H denotes heads and T denotes tail. In case of the events of an experiment occur approximately equally often when the experiment is repeated multiple times, then that event is known as equally likely event. The sum of all the probabilities of an experiment is 1. Probability of any event which cannot be occur is 0 and is known as impossible event, whereas an event which will definitely occur will have probability of 1 and is known as sure event. Probability of an experiment lies between 0 and 1, that is 0 less or equal P E less or equal to 1 and cannot be negative.
Now, let us understand some of the important terms and definitions that are used in probability. Let S be the sample space of an experiment and A and B be two events from S, then probability of event A is denoted by P of A. The complete set of all outcomes which belong to A or B or both is known as union of events A and B and are denoted by A union B. The set of all outcomes which are common between A and B is known as intersection of A and B and denoted by A intersection B. The set of all the outcomes which are not included in A is known as complement of A and is denoted by A dash or complement of A. If each and every outcome of event A is included in B, then A is contained in B and known as the subset of B, and it is denoted by A as a subset of B. Any event which does not have any outcomes is known as an empty or null set and is denoted by phi. If two events A and B cannot occur simultaneously and does not have anything common between them are known as disjoint or mutually exclusive events. In such conditions, A and B are disjoint events denoted by A intersection B equals to phi. One of the most commonly used and basic rule of probability is the complement rule. According to this rule, the probability of complement of an event is equal to 1 minus the probability of event and expressed as probability of complement of A equals to 1 minus probability of A. Probability distributions form an integral part of the probability theory. Probability theory involves a discussion on the concept of random variables and their types, events, experiments, etc. Just to recapitulate, a random variable is one whose value is an outcome of a random event. There exists several possible outcomes and the corresponding values that the variable can assume. A discrete random variable may take only certain values which can be easily counted, quite often whole numbers. Random variables of the continuous type, on the other hand, can assume any value within a given range. The outcome of a coin flip or the result of a rolling die are examples of the case when the random variable is discrete. Heights of students in a class, the arrival time of the employees in a company are continuous random variables. A probability distribution is an array of the possible outcomes of an experiment and the corresponding probabilities of each outcome. The probability distribution for rolling a die is shown in table 1 below, which is outcomes and probability for the experiment of rolling a die. We have outcome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the respective probability associated with each of these outcomes is 1 by 6. The expected value of the probability distribution is obtained by aggregating the product of outcomes with their corresponding probabilities. Variance is nothing but the weighted average of the squared deviations from the mean, where the probabilities act as a weight. Table 2 illustrates the calculation of mean and variance of a probability distribution. We have outcomes as xi's, probability attached to the outcomes as p of xi's. Then we multiply outcomes with the probability, that is xi multiplied by p of xi. Then we have variance, that is xi minus mean whole square multiplied by probability of xi's. We get the mean and variance respectively. Theorems of probability. There are two important theorems of probability. First is the additional theorem or additional rule, and second is the multiplication theorem or the multiplication rule. We are first going to discuss about the addition theorem. Another important rule used is addition rule, in which union of two events can be calculated by adding the individual event probabilities and then subtracting the probability of their intersection. It is expressed as probability of A union B equals to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. An exception to this rule is present, in which A intersection B equals to phi, that is A and B are disjoint events, then probability of A union B will be equal to probability of A plus probability of B. When probability of intersection of two events is phi, that is probability of A intersection B equals to probability of phi, which is 0, then probability of A union B equals to probability of A plus probability of B is known as the addition rule for disjoint events. For example, an organization forms a committee of 5 members. If a chairperson has to be selected from the data provided, what is the probability that the chairperson would either be a female or over 30 years of age? We have genders as male with an age equivalent to 40, then another male with 43 years of age, then female of 38 years, female of 27 years, and male of 65 years of age. The solution to the problem would be probability of getting a female would be equal to 2 by 5. Probability of getting a person over 30 years equals to 4 by 5. Probability of a female over 30 would be equal to 1 by 5. So we have probability of a female or over 30 equals to probability of being female plus probability of being over 30 minus probability of a female and over 30. We get 2 by 5 plus 4 by 5 minus 1 by 5 equals to 5 by 5, which is nothing but 1. Second example we can take if one card is drawn from a standard pack of 52 cards. What is the probability of getting either a king or a queen? The solution is number of kings in a deck of 52 cards is 4. Number of queens in a deck of 52 cards is 4. Then the probability of getting a king would be 4 by 52 and the probability of getting a queen would be 4 by 52. Since they are mutually exclusive, then the probability of getting either a king or a queen equals to 4 by 52 plus 4 by 52, which is 8 by 52. Next, we move on to multiplication theorem. According to this theorem, if A and B are independent events, then the probability of their occurrence will be equal to the product of their individual probability. Two events are said to be independent if and only if probability of A intersection B equals to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. The multiplication theorem is expressed as probability of A and B equals to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. For example, a problem is given to 5 students, Amit, Priya, Mahesh, Kali and Anita. Their chances of solving it are 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5 and 1 by 6 respectively. Then what is the probability that the problem will be solved? As a solution, the probability that A fails to solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1 by 2. The probability that B fails to solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by 3, which is equal to 2 by 3. Probability that C fails to solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 4. The probability that D fails to solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by 5, which is equals to 4 by 5. And the probability that E fails to solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by 6, which is equal to 5 by 6. Since the events are independent, the probability that all 5 students will fail to solve the problem is 1 by 2 into 2 by 3 into 3 by 4 into 4 by 5 into 5 by 6, which is equal to 1 by 6. The probability that the problem is solved is equal to 1 minus 1 by 6, which is 5 by 6. Coming on to conditional probabilities. In case of dependent events, multiplication theorem is not used. Two events A and B are said to be dependent when B occurs only if A has occurred or vice versa. The probability of such an event is known as conditional probability, which is denoted by probability of A given B if B has already occurred, and it will be expressed as probability of B given A if A has already occurred. Conditional probability of events A and B in which B has already occurred is evaluated by probability of A given B equals to probability of AB divided by probability of A. For example, a bag contains 5 white and 3 black balls. The balls are drawn at random, one after the other, without replacement. Find the probability that both the balls drawn are black. Solution is probability of drawing a black first time will be equal to PA, which is 3 by 8, and the probability of drawing a second black ball given that the first ball drawn is also black is equals to probability of B given A, which comes out to be 2 by 7. Then the probability that both the balls drawn are black is given by probability of AB equals to probability of A multiplied by probability of B given A, which is equal to 3 by 8 into 2 by 7, that is 3 by 28. Bayes theorem. Based on the condition which may be related to an event, a probability can be determined. This method of determination of probability is known as Bayes theorem. It is used in probability theory and statistics. In order to estimate the probability of a woman developing a cancer at the age of 65, Bayes' theorem can be used. When applied, the probabilities involved in Bayes' theorem may have different probability interpretations. In one of these interpretations, the theorem is used directly as part of a particular approach to statistical inference. With the Bayesian probability interpretation, the theorem expresses how a subjective degree of belief should rationally change to account for evidence. This is Bayesian inference, which is fundamental to Bayesian statistics. However, Bayes' theorem has applications in a wide range of calculations involving probabilities, not just in Bayesian inference. It was named after a British mathematician, Ralph Thomas Bayes. Bayes' theorem is expressed as probability of A given B equals to probability of B given A multiplied by probability of A, the whole divided by probability of B, where A and B are events. Probability of A and probability of B are the probabilities of A and B respectively. Probability of A given B is a conditional probability, is the probability of event A given that B has already occurred, and probability of B given A is the probability of event B given that A has already occurred. In spite of the fact that it deals with a conditional probability, the way of interpretation of Bayes' theorem is totally different from that of general conditional probability theorem. In case of conditional probability, state value is given according to which we need to calculate the probability of sample, whereas in Bayes' theorem, the sample result is given and we need to calculate the probability of an event. For example, suppose that the reliability of a HIV test is specified as follows. Of people having HIV, 90% of the tests detect the disease but 10% go undetected. Of people free of HIV, 99% of the tests are judged HIV negative but 1% are diagnosed as showing HIV positive. From a large population of which only 0.1% have HIV, one person is selected at random, given the HIV test, and the pathologist reports him or her as HIV positive. What is the probability that the person actually has HIV? As a solution, let E denote the event that the person selected is actually having HIV, and A the event that the person's HIV test is diagnosed as positive. We need to find probability of E given A. Also, complement of E denotes the event that the person selected is actually not having HIV. Clearly, E to E dash or complement of E is a partition of the sample space of all people in the population. We are given that the probability of E equals to 1%, that is 0.1 divided by 100 equals to 0.001. Probability of complement of E equals to 1 minus probability of E, which is equals to 0.999. The probability of A given E equals to probability of person tested as HIV positive given that he or she is actually having HIV equals to 90%, which is equal to 0.9, and the probability of A given complement of E equals to probability of a person tested as HIV positive given that he or she is actually not having HIV is equal to 1%, that is 0.01. Now, by using Bayes' theorem, we have probability of E given A equals to probability of E multiplied by probability of A given E, the whole divided by probability of E multiplied by probability of A given E plus probability of complement of E multiplied by probability of A given E, which is equal to 0.001 multiplied by 0.9, the whole divided by 0.001 multiplied by 0.9 plus 0.999 multiplied by 0.01, which is equals to 90 by 1089, which is equals to 0.083 approximately. Thus, the probability that a person selected at random is actually having HIV, given that he or she is tested HIV positive, is 0.083. Poisson's theorem. The Poisson, uniform, and binomial are the three most important discrete probability distributions. Poisson distribution was developed by Simon Poisson, 1781 to 1840, a French mathematician. This distribution was discovered in the early part of the 19th century. It measures the probability of a random event within a given interval of time or space, and it is a discrete distribution. It can be safely put that the Poisson distribution arises from a binomial distribution or the exponential density. It is important to look into the assumption made while applying this distribution. First, the probability of the occurrence of the event is constant for any two intervals of time or space. And second, the occurrence of the event in a particular interval does not depend on the occurrence of the event in any other interval. The Poisson distribution can be applied to several real-life instances. The following are a few important ones, like the number of deaths resulted due to kicking off the horse in Prussian army, number of times a machine breaks down in a month, spread of any endangered animal in a particular region, typing errors on a page, number of defective electrical connections per mile in a power system of a city. Poisson probability function. The assumptions of the Poisson distribution listed above give way to the following probability function, that is, probability of x equals to mu raised to the power x multiplied by exponential raised to the power minus mu, the whole divided by x factorial, where x is the number of times the event occurs. Mu is the mean or the average number of occurrences per unit of time or space. E equals to 2.71828, that is the base of the natural logarithm system. Properties of Poisson distribution. Important components of the Poisson probability function have already been stated above. Table 3 below shows important properties of the Poisson distribution. Properties: mean equals to mu, variance is given by sigma square, which is equals to mu, standard deviation is given by sigma, which is equals to under root mu, coefficient of skewness is given by alpha 3, which is equals to 1 by under root mu, coefficient of kurtosis is given by alpha 4, which is equals to 3 plus 1 divided by under root mu. The moment generating function for the Poisson distribution is given as mx of t equals to exponential raised to the power mu multiplied by exponential raised to the power t minus 1. This can be shown as follows. Mx of t equals to e of exponential raised to the power tx, which is equal to summation x equals to 0 to infinity e raised to the power tx multiplied by e raised to the power minus mu multiplied by mu raised to the power x, the whole divided by x factorial. This is equal to e raised to the power minus mu multiplied by e raised to the power mu into e raised to the power t, which is equal to e raised to the power mu multiplied by e raised to the power t minus 1. The moment generating function, once obtained, leads the way to mean and variance as well. Poisson distribution is a special case of binomial distribution. The probability function of a binomial distribution is given as under: fx equals to p of x equals to small x equals to n and x, p raised to the power x multiplied by q raised to the power n minus x equals to n factorial divided by x factorial multiplied by n minus x factorial, the whole multiplied by p raised to the power x and q raised to the power n minus x. P is the probability that an event will occur in any single Bernoulli trial. It is essentially the probability of success. Q equals to 1 minus P is the probability that the event will not occur. Therefore, it is the probability of failure. The probability of success for exactly x times in n trials is given the binomial probability distribution function above. The mean for this distribution is equal to NP and the variance is given by NPQ. In the binomial distribution, if number of trials n is very large, while the probability of the occurrence of the event P is close to 0, then the event is said to be a rare event. Usually, an event is considered to be rare one if n is at least 50 and NP is less than 5. In such a case, binomial distribution is closely approximated by the Poisson distribution with mean equal to NP. The mean and the variance of any binomial variable should approach those of the Poisson variable. So, NP and NPQ both should tend to mu. The Poisson process. An important application of the Poisson process concerns the occurrence of particular types of events over time. Suppose we begin at a point of time t equals to 0 and the task is to record the number of tremors caused by the volcano in the region. Following assumptions are made regarding the tremors. First, there exists mu greater than 0, a parameter such that for any short time interval delta t, the probability of recording exactly one tremor is given by mu multiplied by delta t plus 0 multiplied by delta t. The quantity 0 multiplied by delta t is a small fraction smaller than delta t itself. Second, the probability of recording more than one tremor during this short interval is 0 multiplied by delta t. This together with the previous assumption indicates that the probability of recording exactly 0 tremors is 1 minus mu multiplied by delta t minus 0 multiplied by delta t. Third, the number of tremors recorded in the interval delta t is independent of the number of tremors recorded in the intervals prior to this interval. In the case of a short interval of time, the probability of recording a single tremor is approximately proportional to the length of the time interval, where mu is the constant of proportionality. If pk of t is used to denote the probability of recording k tremors during a time interval of t, the expression for pk of t is given as follows. Pk of t equals to e raised to the power mu t multiplied by mu t raised to the power k divided by k factorial. The number of tremors recorded during the interval t is a Poisson random variable with the average rate equal to mu t. This implies that the average number of tremors during the interval of length t is mu t and the average number of tremors recorded during a unit interval is mu. For example, on an average, 2 houses are sold by the Bharti Agency per day. Calculate the probability that exactly 3 houses will be sold today. Solution. This is an example of Poisson experiment in which the following information is available. That is, mu equals to 2 since 2 houses are sold per day on average. X equals to 3, that is, the probability of exactly 3 houses being sold today is to be calculated, and E equals to 2.6 71828. These values can simply be put into the formula px equals to mu raised to the power x multiplied by e raised to the power minus mu the whole divided by x factorial, that is 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by e raised to the power minus 3 the whole divided by 3 factorial, which comes out to be 0.1804. The probability that exactly 3 houses will be sold today is 0.1804. Now, we are going to see the application of probability in forensic science. There are various applications of probability in forensic science. Since forensic science is completely based on evidences, it is not possible for a forensic scientist to interpret anything with complete certainty. So, for making conclusions about various evidences, probability can be used. For example, a forensic scientist is asked to execute DNA profiling analysis of blood found at a crime scene and to compare the result to the DNA profile of a defendant. The defendant's guilt or innocence will be determined by the court. The court's decision will depend in part on their assessment of two propositions of interest, that the defendant was source of the blood or that someone else was the source of the blood. The courts might want the expert to tell them definitively which hypothesis is true or to give them particular values for the so-called source probabilities. For example, that there is a 0.998 probability that the defendant is the source of the blood and only a probability of 0.002 that someone else was the source. The only rational way to draw conclusion about source probabilities on the basis of forensic evidence is to apply Bayes' rule, which requires that one begins with an assignment of prior probabilities to the propositions of interest. Bayes' rule specifies how one ought to combine prior probabilities with the results of a DNA profiling analysis in order to find the so-called posterior probabilities that the defendant is the source of the blood. But the Bayesian approach will only work if the expert can begin with a prior probability. It can also be used for missing person identification, for analyzing the mental status of a person and his or her competency to stand in a trial in court, or for determining the cause and manner of a death for legal purpose. In many criminal and civil cases, identification of a suspect as the actual perpetrator of an offense is based on an alleged match between trace evidence taken from the scene and the sample taken from the suspect. A fingerprint on the murder weapon is compared with that of the suspect. A footprint found at the scene is compared with shoes belonging to the suspect. The refractive index of fragments of glass found on the suspect's clothing is compared with that of the broken window at the scene of the burglary. Fibers left at the scene are compared by eye microspectrophlorimetry and thin layer chromatography with others taken from the suspect's jumper. Increasingly, especially in cases of murder, rape, and alleged paternity, the match is based on DNA profiles and may well be the only evidence presented. In the following, we assume that the fact that a crime has been committed is not in dispute. The only issue is the identity of the culprit. A forensic scientist will typically summarize the strength of potentially incriminating identification evidence in terms of an associated match probability, an assessment of the probability that the observed match would arise if the suspect were in fact innocent. Match probability values of the order of 1 in a billion are now routine for DNA profiling. Intuitively, the smaller the match probability, the stronger the evidence against the suspect, and very tiny probabilities appear to be incontrovertibly convincing evidence.
Summary. Probability is the chances of occurrence of an event. The sum of all the probabilities of an experiment is 1. Probability of any event which cannot occur is 0 and is known as impossible event, whereas an event which will definitely occur will have probability of 1 and is known as sure event. Probability of an experiment lies between 0 and 1 and cannot be negative. Probability distributions form an integral part of the probability theory. Another important rule used is addition rule, in which union of two events can be calculated by adding the individual event probabilities and then subtracting the probability of their intersection and expressed as capital P. According to this theorem, if A and B are independent, the probability of their occurrence will be equal to the product of their individual probability. Two events are said to be independent if and only if P, A. In case of dependent events, multiplication theorem is not used. Two events A and B are said to be dependent when B occurs only if A have occurred or vice versa. The probability of such an event is known as conditional probability, which is denoted by capital P if B has already occurred. Based on the condition which may be related to an event, probability can be determined. This method of determination of probability is known as Bayes' theorem. Poisson distribution was developed by Simon Poisson, a French mathematician. An important application of the Poisson process concerns the occurrence of particular types of events over time. It is not possible for a forensic scientist to interpret anything with complete certainty. So, for making conclusions about various evidences, probability can be used. Thanks.